God bless everyone out there in Radio Land. This is Barry and Karen coming to you live from Embrace Marriage Ministries, and I'm still on the wrong camera. Oh God. Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna switch cameras. Well, thank God for each and every one of you coming and joining us tonight. And I think this is the one. There we go. There we go.
All right.
Welcome to our Dare to Be Different podcast on tonight. We thank God for you joining us and being with us on tonight. We just thank God for all that He's going to do and all that He's already doing, and we just appreciate everything that He's working out in our favor tonight. Mm-hmm. Well, on last night, we started our first lesson on part of a series that we started, which is 25 life lessons from the Bible, which was written by a lawyer, and you can see in the description. She's authored this particular article, and we got it off of connectus.com or org or whatever it is, but it is off a website. My wife got it, and she printed it out, and she said, hey, we can do this kind of to start off the new year, kind of focus on the right relationship and everything, and making sure that we're in the right place with God. It's always good to be in a right place with Him, so that's the best thing to start the year off with. We having some difficulties. We having some technical difficulties. We're trying to get our sound to work right. Last night it was up and down because our sound kept cutting out, and hopefully if the enemy lay it alone in the name of Jesus, we'll be able to do this. So so far I had the Jimmy rig two mixers together, one for my sound and one for my mic, so I'm gonna see how that's gonna work. Hopefully y'all heard the music and everything, our intros and everything. We never have a problem with. It's us that we have a problem with. We can't hear us or whatever. Mm-hmm. But last night we talked about two things. The first two we talked about last night was God is always first in our hearts. Should always be first in our hearts. And the scripture basis that they used for that one was Exodus 20:3, which says, "You shouldn't have no other God before me." And the second thing we also talked about last night was to treat God as your most treasured relationship. And then they use Matthew 6:21. It says, "For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." We discussed about how that when you value something, you protect it and you cherish it. And so that's what we want to do. If we value God and our relationship with Him, we should always do what it takes to honor Him and put Him first in our relationships. So we want to make sure that that's something that we do. So tonight, we got 3, which is God cares for us and wants to calm our fears. The scripture they used for that was 1 Peter 5:7, which I like this one. Casting all your anxieties on Him because He cares for you. And let's see, read some of this. And the other one that we're gonna try to do 2. We try to do 2 at a time because we put some together and elaborate on them. This is the one I like too. We probably gonna talk about this one more so than the other one, but we're gonna combine them. Number 4 is to bless others with your time, talents, and treasure. Hebrews 13:16 says, "Do not neglect to do good and to share what you have, for such sacrifices are pleasing to God." So I'm gonna read the little expositions they have for them, and then we're gonna go ahead and talk about them. The first one,
It's on the page.
yeah. The first one, yeah,
Right there.
I got it. The first one, it says, the next time you are afraid, try giving your fear over to God. It will not be easy, and it must be done throughout your life. But you can claim this promise, as God will always care for us, and He is able to take away our fears and replace them with His peace. Now, fear is a big thing. We heard Creflo Dow preach on fear, talking about fear and how it fears the enemy to faith. How that now it's the opposite of faith.
Right.
I like Rob Parsley's acronym he used for fear, false evidence appearing real, because that's what fear is. It's an evidence of something that is not true. That's why we worry about things, and that we have a tendency to fear things that hasn't even happened. And usually a lot of times what we do is cause fears to come into our life that's unnecessary.
Right.
Now they don't call they call them fears, they call them phobias, which they get it from. It's an actual word, phobos, which means panic or fear. That's the actual word in the Greek for fear. Especially in the scripture where God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of sound mind. The word they use for that is phobos, which means panic fear, or the kind of fear that causes panic. And the actual term panic, to give you an idea, the actual word they use for panic come from Greek mythology. The god Pan, which was a demi-woodland god, was the son of Hermes and some other nymph or whatever he got. Everybody that knows about Pan knows he was half man from the waist up and a goat from the waist down. And Pan, since he was a woodland god, he stayed in the forest and the woods, and he was around the satyrs, which was creatures that looked like him, and the nymphs. They were young ladies that were descendants of like river gods and all other kinds like that. So they were party animals. There's not too many myths about Pan, but the only one particular myth that was really popular was the fact that he had this young lady he was liking named Syrinx, and Syrinx was afraid of him because of his appearance. So he tried to chase her. She was a daughter of a river god, And he chased Sirius, and Sirius called out to her father to help her. So what he did, he changed her to a stack of reeds, a bush of reeds. And so what Pan did, he cut the reeds and he made an instrument, which is panpipes. That's what he called them. And so, but what they got the idea of panic was the fact that when people would go through the forest or through woods, he would scare them to no end. Mm-hmm. So that's where they get the idea of the word panic, was extreme fear, or extreme fear, panic. Mm-hmm. And so that's what they got the idea of panic. But Phobos was one of his names, Phobos Pan, and that's what they got to see. He was a fearful being, so they called it Phobos Pan. So the thing is, Phobos, the word they use for fear, is the same words they use for timidity, for cowardice, and intimidation. Those words is what a lot of people are going through right now. We're not doing this tonight, in the name of Jesus. Because if I blank out, I'm gonna say it again, because I want everything to be heard. A lot of those things that happen, intimidation, timidity, panic, extreme fears, anxieties, this is what's going on now. And God has not given us the spirit of timidity, panic, anxiety, and fears and phobias. You know, everybody got a phobia. That it means they got to fear something. You know, that one subject, I can do a whole week on that one subject. I could, because I think we looked up different phobias. Like, you know, my wife, she has a phobia.
I knew he was going there, so I started laughing the way I did. I knew it. I said, "Watch, he gonna talk about them cockroaches
yeah, there is a term for a fear of cockroaches. There's an actual term, and let's see, I had to look it up. It's a long word, and we looked it up one time. I say my wife has it. I used to have fear of water and heights. Mm-hmm. But I think the military kind of got rid of that fear. So I think one thing about fear, if you face it, you can overcome it. Some fears are not easy to overcome. Like people that are claustrophobic and stuff like that, you can't overcome that. You gotta be delivered from some of that stuff.
Yeah. Because if I see a big roach, I'm gonna clear the building.
She gonna let him have the whole building. My mom was the same way. One time she was running from one. And I was like, "Mom, where you going?" Woo. She was saying, "Woo." I said, "Mom, where you going?" She running from that roach.
Oh yeah. They can have it. I'm gone.
Okay, here we go. Hey Google, what is the fear of cockroaches?
According to BBC, still, anecdotally, many people suffer from castradophobia or cockroach phobia.
That's what it is. See, yeah, castradophobia, which is the fear of cockroaches, and a lot of people have that fear. So yeah, she has that, bless her heart, and so.
Oh yeah. If I see one, he know I'm like,
yeah,
come kill it, come kill it.
Like, they got people that have fear of all kind of things: fear of spiders, fear of bats, fear.
And you know what? And I don't have a fear of spiders.
No,
I'll kill a spider. I'll kill a wasp, a bee. But, and I'll kill a rat, but I will not kill a honey. I will.
That's the only thing make a run. That's the flying ones.
Oh man, I'm gone. I'm running faster than they can fly.
So here's the thing. Actually, some people said that. I've heard people say that there are certain fears that are helpful fears. Like, you know, if you walk out in the middle of the street, you know, you fear of danger of some type, you know, certain fears will help you avoid dangers, you know.
Yeah.
Now, I guess I wouldn't call them so much fears, but just I would call them instinctual awareness, because a lot of times some people, you know, we as human beings, we can kind of sense certain things that's going to happen. You don't have to question if somebody start running through a crowd, even if you joking. And I've seen people do this. You know, I heard a comedian was talking about black folk. They say one thing about them and say they don't never ask. If somebody run, they don't ask what happening. They don't try to figure out. They just follow the person that's running. But if you in a crowded building and all of a sudden somebody starts shooting, you don't have to ask, oh, what's going on? You already know what's going on. You just run and hope to God that the bullet that they shooting don't hit you. You know, and those are fears that are you know, flight and fight. That's the kind of thing that they talk about, flight and fight. But one of the things that when you're talking about phobias that affect your way that you behave and the way that you it changes the way that you act and affects you to the point where it controls you. Right. Those are bad fears.
Yeah, especially worry.
Yeah. Worry is a fear of something that hadn't happened yet. And that's what the basis that scripture that he was quoting, that actual word is cast off your cares. The word they use for cares, it means to have a divided mind or have a divided concern, because you're never thinking the same. Right. You always you're divided because your allegiance is divided. And so you'll always be in a place of division in your mind because you're concerned about you got too many things going on at one time. So all of a sudden when your mind's divided, that's why it says that for he has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and a sound. The word you use for sound means healthy. It gives you a healthy or complete or whole mind, because worry divides your mind. It distracts you from what's really there. You'll start being concerned more about the problem than anything else. Right. You'll start focusing more on the problem than anything else. You won't even be you won't worry about you'll start worrying about it and it hadn't even happened yet.
And then sometimes it don't never happen.
It don't never happen. But you're in a place of worry every single time. Not doing that. Yeah. So that's the reason why I believe that there, if you have a fear that's overcoming and overwhelming, there's a spirit behind that. That's why he says, well, God has not given us a spirit of fear, right, but a spirit of power and the spirit of love and the spirit of a sound mind. So that's what we should have. So, when we have these fears, we should give them over to God. We should not allow those fears to dominate us. Our anxieties should dominate us. The scripture that talks about in Matthew 6 is how that we should seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness. And all these things shall be added unto us. So we should not be concerned about what we're going to eat or what we're going to wear. For the birds, don't be concerned about that. If you ain't no birds running around, flying around saying, I wonder what I'm going to eat today. They don't have to question that. They already know that God's going to take they have enough sense to know that today I'm going to get a meal. I don't know how, but I'm going to get one, because I know that the Creator's going to take care of me, because that's the way they trust him. It's without no fail, without no doubt, they trust him. And that's the kind of trust that God is saying, Jesus was saying, that we should have. Right. Let's see, look at the lilies. They don't worry about being clothed. God decorates them and makes them beautiful. They ain't worried about that. And so why should you worry about it? If God was able to clothe the grass in the field, which grows today and is burned tomorrow, how much more he clothed you? Oh, you a little faith. Right. So the thing is that what we got to do is we got to realize that God is in our corner. He is there for us to help us. He is there to give us what we need when we need it. And he is able to take away those fears and those dreads and those phobias, however way. But you got to trust him to do it. Yes. And face it. I tell you, if I read, like I say, I had a fear of water. It was thing of agoraphobia, I think they called it. And I had now mind you, I decided to go military. The one that I picked was the one that you would think, okay, somebody's gonna have fear of water. Why would they pick the Navy? where you on water 90% of the time. So, and while I was at boot camp, we had to go through a swim test. We had to float for 2 minutes, swim or float for 2 minutes. So here we are. We sitting in boot camp, and there was a bunch of guys, and we just in our swim trunks, and we just sitting in the line waiting for the jump. So we had to jump off of a 12-foot platform, no, a 10-foot platform into a 12-foot pool, straight down. It's supposed to simulate you jumping off the ship into the ocean, and you're supposed to be able to get up to the surface and float until help arrives. So it's like a minimum 2 minutes. That's to qualify. And those that can swim for that time. But but really they require you swim. Just want you to float for that time. That's all you had to do. Well, some of them, we had one guy, and he was like 3-4 people ahead of me. It was our first jump, because they give you about 3 chances to do it. But they give you a chance. If you didn't pass the first time, of course they help you get you out the water, and they help you take you to low end, which is about 4 feet, to help you get on your back and float. Then you had to show you how to use your clothes that we wore for as flotation devices. So you had to use your pants and all. It was all kind of stuff. Military got some weird stuff, but it's stuff save your life. So anyway, getting back to the jump. So what happened? I was like 4 guys behind this dude, and they told him. They actually told him to jump. You had to jump. You had to cross your hands across your chest and cross your feet when you jump, because you jump at feet first. And this guy would not jump. He told him to jump again. He refused to do it. And he told him, he said, well, if you don't jump, he said, senior recruit, you don't jump, you go home. He said, well, you might well send me home, because I ain't jumping. That dude. He said, you might well send me home, because I'm not jumping. And so they sent him home. They did, because that was equated to you disobeying a direct order from a superior. And that's like a court martial. Basically, they sent him from basic. They just sent him home.
Wow.
And so they walked him off the platform, and the other 2 guys in front of me jumped, and it was my turn. Well, I wasn't going to refuse, but I said, I'll tell you what, the confidence that I had, see, and this goes to what I'm finna say about what God does. I'm going to tie it in, just listen. So they had lifeguards and stuff in case something happens. They had divers, Navy divers that were there. So I figured like this: hey, if I get in there, if I jump in, and I feel like I'm going to drown, they're gonna come in and help me. So I jumped. I did my jump, and I hit the water, and I had held my breath going down. I hit the water, and when I hit the water, when my head hit it, the water hit me on both sides of my face, and my mouth flew open, and I started sucking in water. So, and I didn't suck it in my lungs. I actually swallowed it, and it was pretty. Wasn't too bad, because it's chlorine water. It's like your tap water almost. And I swallowed the water, but I didn't drown. I closed my mouth, but I was trying to get back up, but I couldn't. So they came, got me, and so I made. I was like glad that I made it. Doing this. So I was glad that I made it. I'm repeating everything. So what ended up happening, since I knew that I had some people there to help me, and since I had made it that time, that gave me confidence, believe it or not, to try it again. But when I was in the military, I wasn't saved, and I was nutty. Okay, I'm gonna show you what it did the second time. I jumped in there and did it right. This time I went straight down, because what happened was, when I hit the water the first time, I hit it sideways. So of course the water hit me on both sides. This time I went straight down, so I did it right. And so when I jumped straight down, and I stayed like that. I probably held my breath. I could hold my breath pretty good then. I was small, younger and smaller. So I just stayed with my arms crossed and my feet crossed, and I was just slowly doing this, going down.
Oh my God.
I didn't move. I just kept sinking. I just sunk. Just kept sinking. I sunk all the way to the bottom of the pool. This is a 12-foot pool. I sunk all the way down to the bottom, and I'm sitting on the bottom. And all I can hear is the divers doosh, doosh coming in the water after me. It was so funny to me. Them fools said something was wrong with him. Because when they got to the bottom of the pool, I was smiling. That's how crazy.
Oh my God.
I was sitting on the bottom of the pool smiling. Like this, still like this. I ain't never gonna just say. They say something's wrong with you, Seaman Cruz. Yes, well, that's what they keep telling me. That's what I told them. They keep telling me. So anyway, I ended up coming down. I mean, I'm too high. I ended up coming down. They got me out the pool, and when they got me out the pool, they actually taught me how to float. So once I learned that how to float, then after that, I did it again. I did three dives. My third dive, I actually got up to the surface and I floated. Well, what happened? One of the other divers that helped me was there already, and all I had to do was float for 20 minutes. I mean, like 2 minutes. I mean, I'm looking at the time. I was both for 2 minutes. So what happened? He talked to me the whole time. And he asked me why I joined the Navy, and I told him I was thinking about getting to college and I wanted to kind of better myself and stuff. And I was talking a little bit about why I came and stuff like that. And so he was telling me, yeah, that's a good goal and stuff like that. So he got my mind off of what I was doing. Because the fear, if I would have realized how much water I had under me, I would have sunk. And so by him distracting me from what was under me, I was able to float those 2 minutes. And he basically talked to me the whole time. He said, that's it, you passed. But if he wasn't there and I would have realized how much water was under me, because I knew that I was in a 12-foot pool on the surface. But at that time, the only thing I was focused on was what I was telling him. So he was talking to me the whole time. So that's kind of how God is with us. We could be in the surface of something going on in our fears, and we got all this under us and all this below us. I'm trying to get my hands on all this below us, but we're on the surface. But God is here, talking to us the whole time, telling us we're going to be okay. We're going to make it. You're not going to sink. You're not going to fail. You're not going to fall. I got you. All you got to do is focus on my voice and follow what I'm saying, and you'll be able to make it.
Yes.
And so now the other one here that we're talking about is you doing which is one of our favorites. I'm letting my wife talk about this, and she does this and a lot more than me, but I'm starting to be generous. But she has a good testimony on a lot of this. She let us kind of share on this one. We are called to live generously, giving to others without thought of what we would get in return. This applies to how we spend our time, what we do with the spiritual gifts and natural born talents we possess from God, and our financial and material possessions. When we do good to others by sharing with them, God recognizes our selflessness and sees it as a sacrifice of service to Him. So, man, share a little bit of testimonies on how God different things.
How God always remembers our labor of love.
Yeah.
A lot of times, with God to do, I don't know if it's if this is a test or not, just to see, if you being gonna be selfish or if you're gonna be obedient. But a lot of times God will give me he'll give me something. He say, well, I want you to be a blessing to such and so, and I'll do it. I act out of obedience, like we said last night. I'll come to you. I'll say, hey, Lord, say to give this and give that. Yeah. And we do. I mean, it just be sometimes it be people I don't even know. Half time we don't even know them. And what we give, and I mean, a lot of times, and He would just speak to me and speak to me and speak, and I mean, and I would act. Yeah. I don't question it. I don't doubt it, and I thank God for you, because you all never fight against it. And so we but I think we both on the same on the same level, Cause I believe God was doing it with you before He was doing it even with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, He started off with you because He would tell you to sow,
Into certain people.
yeah, to certain people. Cause we had this. I don't want to, this young lady, and we don't even know her, and God had
we gotta tell this story because
yeah.
We called her Jack in the Box lady. We
Yeah, because we don't really know her.
we don't know her name. The Jack in the Box lady is one of the ladies that works the window, and she knows our order by heart. She's real jovial every time we go. We may count one hand the many times that we had a window, but then she found out that I was a minister, and so confessional happens when she's not in a good day. She'll say, "Boy, they just getting on my nerves," and so once she tell us she's better, So I let her go ahead and vent. But in the morning, sometimes we go there, Jack Box, Saint Jack in the Box. We order the same thing, and we see her most of the time. So it was during a time where somebody had decided, it was during the holidays, somebody decided, hey, we're going to do a pay it forward line. So when we came up, she said, yeah, Merry Christmas to y'all, and somebody paid for y'all food. She said, that's been happening all morning. So we did the same thing.
Yeah.
And so we decided to pay for the person's food behind us. So we wanted to keep it going, So as we drove away, Spirit of the Lord spoke to me and said, I want you to get her a Christmas present. And I'm like, okay. Now, mind you, this is a woman, God telling me to get another woman other than her a Christmas present. I was like, I ain't get my own mama a Christmas present. So I look at this woman. But, those thoughts never hit my mind. When he told me that, I said, I knew there had to be a reason. And I said, and he shared with me, he said, because she doesn't feel appreciated by where she is. This is your way of showing her how appreciated she is. I said, okay. So I told my wife, and I didn't tell her until we went Christmas shopping because I never shared it. Because one thing about it is usually if I hear something, I don't immediately, I want to make sure it's him. If he keep telling me and he really keep impressing me on me, then I'll do it because I'm not going to just jump at the first whim because a lot of times it be the enemy.
Right.
And you got to watch it. So I'll make sure it's him. A lot of times I know, but I just want to make sure because I don't want to miss him on certain things. I want to make sure I'm hearing clearly. So I kind of sat on it for maybe a day or two because I think the next day after that we went Christmas shopping for the grandkids, and I told my wife, say, hey babe, I said God dealt with me about blessing the Jack in the Box lady with a gift. Now at the time we was doing a Secret Santa thing from it wasn't Secret Santa, but we traded gifts at my job. So funny though it seems, I ended up with my spiritual sister, who was my supervisor. I ended up with her, our spiritual sister. We've been knowing her forever. And it was funny because I thought I said I bet you any kind of money I'm gonna pull her, and lo and behold. But then it was good because it's easy to shop for because I knew what color she liked. And she went what she wanted because we had did this thing called Elster online, and so they tell you what you want. They didn't give me what I want; they got me what they thought I wanted. Which okay, I thank God for it. One of them was useful though, but she wanted a particular thing, and I told my wife. So in the process of her doing that, she went on and got the young lady's gift, and each of them got the same one, just different color.
Right.
So, So we decided, we were so excited, we wanted to see it. My wife, we didn't go eat that day, but we saw her.
She was standing out.
She was standing outside in the parking lot. So I whipped in the parking lot, and she was standing out there. And I said, "We got some." And she handed out to Merry Christmas, and she
was like,
I couldn't see her because for some reason or other, I couldn't see her face. And so my wife told me, I said, "What she look like?"
Oh my God.
She lit up. She was excited.
Lit. I mean, she was so excited.
Yeah. And the next day, I think the next week before the New Year's, we saw her again. And she told us how we appreciate it. She told me how her husband reacted to it and how her kids say, oh, Mom, they must really love you. We do because she's so nice, and she was real patient with people, and she's always excited about what she does, and I like people like that because you don't find too many people at the window. Because on the other hand, we got another one that act like she don't want to be there. half time. So, and that job is not easy. It's dealing with, if you're not a people person,
Yeah.
and what she is, but if you're not a people person, that job will be a burden to you.
Yeah.
Because you'll never be happy, because they'll, especially if one of them get you upset, that everybody else after that will have to suffer for it. Because your attitude will change, and it'll come out in the way you speak. Because you usually know how they are once you hear them over that mic. Thank you for dragging by.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we know they ain't in a good day, having a good day today. And so, but being a blessing with what you have, and being generous, those seeds, being generous in those seeds that you sow. And I told my wife, I say, what it is that really, honestly, we did that because that year is a sowing year. And so we're starting to now see the harvest of the seeds that we've been sowing. And increase is coming, and we can't stop it.
Right.
And the enemy can't either, because unless he can stop stuff from growing, which he can't, he ain't gonna stop it. He can hinder the progress, but he can't stop it.
That's true.
He can do everything he can to try to keep the crop from growing, but he'll even try to sow tares in the midst of it to make it look like it's real. Because a lot of times people say you'll get the fake before you get the real. In a lot of cases that's true, because he'll sow stuff in the midst of it that'll look like the real thing. And usually you'll run into stuff that is not real, and then next thing you know, sometimes it'll affect you if you don't have enough wisdom to know the difference. It'll affect you with the good stuff come. Like, say for example, you get in a relationship for you, and you praying for a husband, and then all of a sudden you get this nut, and this nut mess you up real good and mess your emotion and make you bitter. Then when the good man comes,
he have to suffer.
He
gonna pay for everything that last one done you.
So that's why there has to be a process between the time that you get the good man leaving the bad man. So there's a process in the middle of all that. Process in the middle of all that. And then, so the progress, I told somebody that couple of days ago, I said, you can't fight against the progress, because if you fight against the progress, you'll never see the promise. I said that all you doing is she was telling us, I ain't going such and such, I ain't doing this and that. And my supervisor told her, say, hey, I'm just going to be straight with you. I say, maybe this is what's God's plan for you, to get you out of this situation. Because the person wasn't being honest with themselves. They wasn't owning the fact that they're the problem. So a lot of times what people don't, when they don't own their problem, they just gonna walk around blaming everybody else.
Right.
Oh, it's their fault. Oh, it's their fault. They're the reason why I do drugs. They're the reason why I'm hooked to this. They're the reason why I had an affair. They're the reason why I'm doing this. And they blame everybody else, but they don't look at them. And so that's another lesson. I don't want to get into that. But the whole point of it is generosity is important at this time, to give your talents, your treasure, and your time.
Yeah.
So now some people, it's easy for them to give. Well, you know what? I'm not gonna say that, because a lot of people, if you ask them to do something that requires generosity, oh, I don't have the time.
Right.
Or then they'll turn around and say, oh, I can't. I'm not talented enough to do that. And then I say, oh, I ain't got no money.
Right.
So but they expect a lot, but they don't want to give a lot.
Right.
And another thing, watch it when somebody comes along and tell you, when you in an offering, that if you give $100, you get $1 million back. That is not finna happen. You know what you're gonna get back when you sow $100? 100,000, maybe million. In order for you to get $1 million, you gotta sow 100,000. Because your gift is your harvest is in proportion to the size of your seed. I don't know who's gonna hear this, but a lot of people say, you give $1, God gonna give you millions back. No, He's not, unless you're doing compound interest for 100 years. That's be the only way. That's the only way you're gonna get that kind of money from $1. You got to compound it for 100 years in order to get you $1 million. That's be the only way, and that means you got to be You gotta start when you about 10, and then when you get 90, you'll have $1 million, and then you'll be almost in the grave, and your children be spending it, and you know. But anyway, but the fact is, generosity. Your harvest is in the proportion of your seed. If you sow much, you reap much. If you sow little, you reap little.
Yeah.
But you can always, just like anything else, reinvest. We don't hear that in the church. They don't hear that in the church world. You hear it in the world. That when you get your money, when you get proceeds of money or income from your business, you reinvest it into the business. How about us reinvesting into the kingdom every time we get the increase? Like when God bless you with the increase, how about reinvesting into it instead of just saying, well, I'm gonna just give, and how about investing in it? Because it is an investment.
It is. It's a great investment.
It's the greatest investment that you can have with great returns because it's a limitless supply.
Yeah, and some people, like I say, not like with me starting off.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't always that way. Oh no, honey, I was stingy.
Yeah,
I was tight.
We was talking about that last time.
Yeah,
she make that
I was tight.
And that president bleed.
So when the Lord had first started dealing with me about giving, and He would give me a certain amount, and He say, I want you to give this. And because when we talked about that first, fear and worry, and honey, and He would say, get a certain amount. I be like, oh, cause my light bill due, my gas bill due, and water bill due, and baby need a pair of shoes, and telephone about to get disconnected. So you be going, so you sitting in church this with all these excuses and telling God like God don't know, like God, like He don't even know this.
Yeah,
He know all your bills, but I would sit there and would not give the amount. And God say, I'm trying to get something to you.
That's right.
I'm not trying to take nothing from you. I'm trying to get something to you.
Yeah.
So, and it took me a while to, stop squeezing that eagle and making him holler.
He was screaming, boy.
So, but it took time because I had to get to a place where God was my source and I could trust Him that if He give, that He's gonna give it back, good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over.
That's right.
So, but it was, I took little baby steps. Like I say, it wasn't in the beginning because I gave God what I thought was comfortable to me. I be up that kind of say, okay, this for this, and that for that, and this for that, and this for that. Okay, I could give this. And I was So, but now. And now I don't have a problem.
Yeah.
He could say give 1,000, we give it. But boy, not in the beginning. Shoot, boy, look at him. Me and God we be chit chatting in church. Like honey, because the kids, we had the kids at home at the time. I'm like, I'm sure they need this. I need to get some more food, and I need to get some more of this, and I need to do this, I need to do that, and
it was constant struggle.
Yeah.
Now with me, like I say, it was no problem. I was already a person. I was already a giving person, because that was just my personality.
And my worry kept me from really to getting it. And when He started breaking it down, He started telling me, He said, I'm trying to get something to you. And so that's when all that started changing. So now, I mean, I give like it ain't nothing.
Yeah.
With no problem, no questions.
And then God, like I say, God fixed my heart. Well, every time she mentioned it, I never cringe or anything. So that's fine, because I know that's what God was doing too.
Yeah.
It's if He's telling you to get that amount, something big finna happen.
Yeah.
And so I remember the very first time, the biggest thing we gave, she gave.
Right.
She was listening to Clarence McClendon. That was a message. It was during one
he was
of
on
those
TV,
praise-a-thon. And God impressed her through him to give $1,000.
Yeah, and then the kicker, I heard the amount before he even said it.
Yeah, God told her.
He spoke to me. Said, I want you to get this amount. I said, okay, God. So I did, and I told him, I said, baby, the Lord said, get this amount. And then when Clarence McClendon got on there, he said, I hear the Lord saying, I hear the Spirit of the Lord say, as many can give $1,000, and that was the amount. Before he even said it, God had told me
give $1,000.
So and
for us at that time, that was big offering. We as big as we ever gave. And I'm believing God for bigger than that.
Yeah.
I mean, But we have given bigger than that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, later on. Yeah, that was the first time we ever gave a big but we have given bigger than that later on. It spread it out in different ways because God would tell to give different people sow into their lives.
Yeah.
And so we split it up, but it'd be one offering, just big offering, but just split up in different places.
Yeah.
And so we gave bigger than that. That's why we starting to see the harvest of it.
Yeah.
And it's not gonna stop because we're not gonna stop. But we also give our time because especially now, even though I get paid what I do, I don't see it as a job. I see it as a ministry to me because to me it's just how I had to picture it that way so I could stay focused. But that's what it is to me. I mean, I use all the talents and gifts that God give me and all the stuff I learned. I'm doing it in that one job. Yeah. And so I'm sowing into those people and seeing lives change.
Yeah.
If you go into a place, if you're going into a place and you sit in this place, and because like I said, when I was there before, this place was not like it was when I got there. But once God handpicked us for this particular situation, particularly for this building, me and the two people that are there. And it's just three of us run that whole building, but the building's not that big. But then with the people, it's all clicking. And each of us, well, at least two of us, and I was talking to my administrator, she ain't never done this in her life. Never. She's a big old, I call her, she's our heart. She's the heart of our job. She's the big heart. You know, she's just sweet as she can be. She'll do anything for you. And she real nice, and they know that. And I have to get on them. Don't take advantage of that woman. You don't have a problem with me. I told her. I already told them. So, but we're peer specialists, in which is we deal with mental health situations, and we're actually have diagnosis, and we share our story with people and help them with different things like that. That's basically what she was when I met her. And she had been that for 7 years since she'd been there. But this is a totally different realm for her. So she had to really pray a lot and believe God to show her what to do. And today she was telling me about a dream she had that her pastor was speaking wisdom to her. And I said, and the Lord showed me that she had been praying and for wisdom, and God was showing her that He was giving it to her through the dream. And I said, because believe me, you're doing excellent considering you've never done this before, because she keeps all our books. She's the one who hold the purse. She want to deal with the money. She deals with all our receipts. She deals with all our orders. She deals with everything. She keep up with all of that stuff. She shops, goes to the store. She does all that. She's the money purse. She's our administrator. She runs the whole house like that. And she ain't never done it. So I know God doing it. That's God's wisdom. Me, that particular position, I'm over the building. So it was like I'm the pastor of the church. She's the church secretary. My other person is one of my other teachers. The other one is she already had experience in doing it, so that helped. But she's our event planner. She's also she's one of our facilitators. She facilitates our groups. She's the one that reaches out to our donators, because she's done all of that. So she has a lot of experience in that, and she's the one that gets all the donations and different things. Then you ask yourself, like, what I do? They do all that. What you do? I make sure they do what they're supposed to do. That's basically all. I make sure, actually, I'm over the whole thing, but I do make sure they do what they're supposed to do. I stay in touch with my supervisor, who is over me, kind of just and kind of pass down whatever information that needs to be done, kind of maintain. And I kind of take charge when she's not there. I'm kind of a second, just to kind of, they come to me when they need anything, because I'm the only other person there that's been longer than the rest of them. So I thank God though. It feels like I've been there for years, but I've only been there a few months, and I think I'll make a year in April, huh? Yeah, so I've been there, and it feels like I've been there longer than that. But I'm using all the talents that God has given me, and I pray every day, God help me to use. We pray every day that God let us to do our work as unto you and not unto men. And so we're gonna shut it down. We are pretty good. That was pretty good there. We even did an hour, but we did good. Check us out. We're gonna do a commercial which is gonna have, I forgot to put that one. We got another one we're gonna do. We got 2 ads. Next week I'll have that ad up for you, so you can see other places that we are, other than the ones that you seen yesterday, last night. If you happen to see it last night, but if you see these, the ad is gonna show you our website where you go. Also, you can go to these different platforms that we'll be on. Some of them we are on, and some of them we're gonna be on. These are the ones that we're on. Like we streaming. We multi-streaming to about maybe 12, 13 different sites. But the main ones that we hit, that's the ones that see us. But we thank God for you and all the platforms, wherever you are, wherever you're seeing this. If you happen to see it, just let us know what you think. Give us some feedback. Kind of let us know you're out there. Give us a thumbs up, a heart, anything that'll equate a comment. So... And we appreciate y'all being with us, and so hopefully next week, since we'll start fresh next week on Monday, and we're doing 5 days, so we do Monday through Friday, and so Monday we'll go to 5 and 6, which will be live your life as an active witness for the gospel. I could have done that tonight.
Well,
actually, I kind of did it tonight.
Yeah, well, we can still do it tomorrow. You say Monday through Friday.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. I'm thinking because to me it's my Friday because I'm off on Thursdays and Fridays. So tomorrow we'll do 5 and 6, and then we'll take the break for the weekend, and then we'll come back Monday and we'll do 6 and 7 and 8. So we're gonna do it until we do all 25. We're doing them 2 at a time, and that makes it more and easier for us. We combine them and like we do tonight. Hopefully, y'all, if our sound is better, let us know. Give us a thumb up. Let us know, because like I say, we check everything anyway. But if y'all happen to notice us a little low, let us know, because we trying to get the sound back right. Video is fine, but the sound just I can't get it together. So we gonna work on this weekend, and so y'all will have a good crisp sound. Hopefully, we're not clipping too bad. But we'll check it, and like I said, just make sure that you just let us know how you feel. But we're gonna let my wife give her last words, and then we're gonna go to the ad, and we're gonna get out of here.
Alrighty, on tonight, I'd like to say embrace God, embrace one another, embrace family, friends, cousins, dozens, and and dare to be different.
God bless y'all. We'll see y'all on the next time.
Good night.